Hello student, in this video, we are going to recall some important basic skills that you need when learning physics. First, in physics, we deal with a lot of physical quantities. A physical quantities is something that we can measure and have two important parts. First, the numerical value, and second, the units. Basically, the physical quantities are divided into two groups, base quantities and derived quantities. Base quantities are basic quantities that cannot be obtained from other quantities. For example, length with unit meter, mass with unit kilogram, time with unit second, temperature with unit Kelvin, electric current with unit ampere, amount of substance with unit mole, luminous intensity with unit CD. Derived quantities are quantities that are formed by combining base quantities. For example, area is the length multiplied by length, so the unit is meter squared. Speed is distance divided by time, so the unit is meter per second. Density is mass divided by volume, so the unit is kilogram per meter cube. In physics, we often deal with very large and very small number. To make this number easier to write, we use scientific notations or standard form. The general form is a to the power of n. For a very large number, we can written using a positive power, and for a very small number, we can written using a negative power of 10. We also use prefix to represent power of 10. For example, tera, 10 to the power of 12, giga, 10 to the power of 9, mega, 10 to the power of 6, kilo, 10 to the power of 3, deci, 10 to the power of negative 1, centi, 10 to the power of negative 2, milli, 10 to the power of negative 3, micro, 10 to the power of negative 6, nano, 10 to the power of negative 9, pico, 10 to the power of negative 12. So, this prefix we are going to help us to write the value in a very short and easier form. For example, the length of an X-ray is 0.000000001 meter. So we can change it or write it in scientific notation, or we can replace the power with prefix. So we have the length of an X-ray is 1 nanometer. Same goes for the distance travel, 5,500 meter. We can put it in scientific notations, and then we can replace the power 10 to the power of 3 with prefix kilo. On scientific calculator, you can use the ENG button to quickly toggle a numerical value into a scientific notation or the standard form. In physics calculations, we always use SI unit. For example, length, meter, mass, kilogram, time, second, temperature, Kelvin. If the question is given a value that is not in SI unit, we must convert it first before doing any calculations. Remember, the final answer must always include the correct unit. Without a correct unit, marks will be deducted in examinations. How to convert unit? So we start with the basic. To convert units, for example, 560 nanometer to SI unit meter, first we identify the prefix. Then we are going to substitute the prefix with the power value. For these situations, we replace the n nano with times 10 negative 9. Same go for this one. Another example, 8.860 microgram, we need to change it to SI unit kilogram. So first, we are going to replace the prefix micro with times 10 negative 6. And then we are going to convert the gram to kilogram. So recall the unit conversion factor. 1 gram is actually 1 to the power of negative 3 kg. So gram, we change it to kg. So we have times 10 negative 3 kg. Then we solve it carefully, then we will get the answer in kilogram, which is 8.86 to the power of negative 9 kilogram. And boys and girls, be careful when we do converting unit, especially for area and volume. For example, if we want to convert centimeter squared to meter squared, we have to bear in mind only the conversion factor and the unit is squared. So for these equations, 968 centimeters squared. So we are going to have 968, and then centi is times 10 negative 2 meter. So we are going to square this one. So we are going to obtain 968 to the power of negative 4 meter squared. Same goes for millimeter cube to meter cube. So write down the numerical value and then milli replace with times 10 negative 3. Then unit is meter. So this conversion factor including the unit is being cube. So we are going to obtain 5 to the power of negative 6 meter cube. How about converting compound units? Sometimes our physical quantities have more than one unit. For example, from kilometer per hour, we need to change to SI unit meter per second. So for this type of units, we are going to convert the numerator and the denominator separately. Okay, we are going to convert the numerator and the denominator separately. So we are going to convert the kilometer to meter, whereby kilo is times 10 power of 3. And then we are going to convert hour into second, whereby 1 hour is 60 minutes, 60 seconds. Then we are going to combine the value, do the mathematical calculations, and we are going to obtain 100 meter per second. Same goes for this one. 0.75 gram per centimeter cube, we need to change it to SI unit kilogram per meter cube. So again, we are going to convert the mass, the numerator, from gram to kg, and then we are going to convert the volume, the denominator, from centimeter cube to meter cube. Centi is times 10 negative 2, then we raise it to the power of 3. Then do the calculations and we are going to have 750 kilogram per meter cube. So boys and girls, bear in mind for any problem in physics, we have to do the calculation in SI unit. For example, this one, we want to calculate the pressure in SI unit. Given the density of the liquid is 1 gram per centimeter cube, the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second squared, and the height of the liquid is 50 centimeter. So first we list out the information given, and then we need to convert the density from gram per centimeter cube into kilogram per meter cube. The acceleration is given in SI unit, so we no need to do any conversion unit. But then the height of the liquid is given in centimeter, so we need to change it to meter, SI unit meter. Whereby centi we replace with power 10 to the power of negative 2. Then we write down the equation we use to calculate the pressure. We substitute all the value and make sure the calculation is in SI unit. Then we are going to obtain the answer 500 Pascal. So bear in mind, don't forget to write down the unit for your final answer. And then this is some basic mathematical formula that we use in physics frequently. So always remember the formula to calculate the radius if you are given the diameter of a circle, and area of a circle can be calculated using equation pi r squared. The circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r, and then the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. The volume of a sphere can be calculated using 3 over 4 pi r cubed. And if you are given a trapezium, how we are going to calculate the area of a trapezium? It will be half multiplied the two parallel base A plus B multiplied with the height of the trapezium H. Since when I give you a right angle triangle, the area of the right angle triangle will be given by half A multiplied B. Then we can calculate the hypotenuse using the theorem Pythagoras, where the hypotenuse C will be the opposite side A squared plus with the adjacent side B squared, and then square root. Then we have the identity trigonometry in order to obtain the angle. We can use sine theta, whereby sine theta is opposite side A divided by hypotenuse C. Cosine of an angle, cos theta, will be the adjacent side B divided by hypotenuse C, and the tangent of an angle, tangent theta, will be the opposite side A divided by the adjacent side B. So this one is very important, especially when we use for resolving vectors into it two perpendicular components. So boys and girls, for any physics problem solving, we can follow these 5-step strategies. First, G. G stands for given. So first we are going to list out all the informations given in questions and make sure we convert them into SI unit. Second step is R, stand for require. Clarify what is being asked, what we want to find in the question. Step 3 is analysis. Analyze the problem, the situations given, to make it easier for you to get the idea how you're going to solve the questions. You draw a picture or a free body diagram if needed. Label it including the coordinate system. Put relevant informations and unknown, finding the relation between the givens and the diagrams. Then refer to the list of formulas given in physics. Identify the suitable formula that we need to use in order to solve the problem. Step 4 is S, stand for solutions. So we are going to write down the concept, if any, and also the equations we use from the list of formula, and then we are going to substitute the value into the formula. Solve the algebra, do the calculation using our scientific calculator, then we write the final answer, follow with the correct SI unit. The last step is E, evaluate. Check whether your answer makes physical sense and make sure the unit is correct. So boys and girls, always remember, always identify the quantities and the unit, convert all value into SI unit before calculations, use the correct formula, always write the final answer with unit. This basic skill will help you solve physics problem more confidently. That's it for our videos. I hope these survival kicks will help you to be excellent in physics learning. Thank you.